Hey, in this video, we're going to build an automation in n8n that scrapes viral news for you automatically and turns it into a ready-to-send newsletter brief. This automation solves a real gap for service businesses because it keeps leads warm without adding extra work to the team, and you can sell this for $1,000 or more. I'll show you exactly how the whole system runs with a quick demo in the beginning, and then we're going to build the whole thing from scratch together so you can actually see what the development process looks like. And if you stick around until the end, I'm also going to show you how you can access all of the resources for free. If you're new here, my name is Giovanni. I'm a former senior manager in big tech, and over the past 5 months, I've helped more than 50 businesses transition to AI and generated over $50,000 for my own AI agency. And with that aside, let's get into the video. Let's start with the demo then. We're going to press execute workflow, and the triggers is a schedule trigger and starts the workflow. We're going to scrape a website. Here we chose Hacker News. However, you can replace it with whatever you want. And it's simply a site where you can find a lot of information about like tech news, but a lot of variety of news. Like it's from YC Combinator, so I would highly recommend you to go and check it out. This is a process that helps us clean the data and prepare them. I limit the whole thing to 2 because of the, the workflow will be too long for the video to run. And then here, we're going to go inside the loop. We're going to scrape the article, mark down, summarize the article, and then prepare it for the newsletter. Combine the 2 articles that are actually relevant, and then we're gonna send them into the newsletter. To show you the output, we're gonna be receiving an email. In this case, it can be us, the customers, like whomever you want actually, and we are going to press it, and this is our weekly digest. Here, you will see how you can format it like this, but overall, guys, like you can even add images. I added here the URLs and etc. And you see that it brings you here, so it's like very customizable. With that being said, let's go back to a white Canva and we're gonna start building this thing from the beginning. First thing we want to do is use our manual trigger that it's going to start our workflow, and then we want to go straight away into the Hacker News. And we want this beautiful puppy right here, and we want to scrape it. How are we going to do it? We know that in order to scrape, we need a URL. We're gonna go here, HTTP request. We're gonna paste the URL right here. And basically what this nodes allows us to do is it's going to allow us to retrieve all of the information that are inside the website. And basically you get it into an HTML format because this is what is used in order to display all of the information. And now if I go also inside right here, you're gonna see that this is all in HTML, and this is exactly what's being rendered right here, right? The other thing that we want to do is, okay, now this is in an unreadable format. So we want to go and use an HTML. I wonder if I can make it more. Ooh, I can also from the keyboard. HTML. And then we want to extract the HTML content. So what do we want to extract right now? What are we trying to build? What I want to build is an automation that allows me to grab the title of what's happening right here, right, of the article. Then I want to grab the URL because eventually I need to scrape this website and the article itself in order to be able to understand what's going on. And then I want to scrape the points. And why do I want to scrape the points? Because we mentioned that we want to scrape only the articles that are going viral in our niche. And for this very reason, the way that we're going to identify virality is basically with points. Of course, we're also going to add another layer, which is, okay, I want the article to be most likely in the past 3 days or 10 days, I don't know, but I want this to be recent, right? If I send the weekly digest. So that's why we're going to use the points. Okay, now how are we going to do that? The way we do it is that we want, first of all, let's add the name of the 3 variables that we want right here, right? So the first one will be, I don't know, article title. Then I'm gonna want and have article URL. And then I want to have article score. Okay, great. Now we have done all of the things, and now we need to populate these fields, which is the CSS selector and the return value. So basically the attribute or the text. What does all of this mean? Let's go inside Hacker News and let's press right click and inspect. By the way, you need nothing of this. You just need to know how to read this, which I'm going to teach you right now super quickly, and it's going to be more than enough. Let me zoom in. Now, we see that, and let me see if I can have, yes, I can. We need to see that the URL, it's inside a span, so this one right here, which is inside a class called title line, and it's also inside another selector, which is the A, okay? The URL then is also inside an attribute that it's called href, which is this one right here. So now we have all of these information. So let's start typing them down. Initially, the CSS selector are all of the things, let's say it's the big hat before this URL. And here you can imagine it as being like a big box, like all of these things that you can open and close. You don't need to be technical to know this. It's just a box with a certain hierarchy that allows you to explode the things. And if you hover with a mouse, you see that you are able to access data at different layers, right? So in my workflow right here, I need to select the selector. So we said span, and I'm going to write span dot the class, so title line, and then I'm going to use this symbol, which means it's child of an A. Basically, what does it mean? It means the little a is contained in the span.title. And why do you use this? Because we have, if we open also other things, that we have other classes, right? Span.rank, span.whatever. So span.class title line, it's a unique identifier that helps us identify precisely that thing. And all of the titles, if I press on another one right here, they all have span class title line, because this is how websites generally are built. Good ones at least. So now we have identified how to get it, but now what do we want? Let's think about it. If I were now to leave text, which is the thing that we want, we are just going to take the text, but we are now trying to get the URL, which is this thing right here. So now we need to add one more layer because we have an attribute which is called href. So in order to achieve that, return value, attribute, and then href. And if I now run it, I don't know if it will give me error with the other two below. Okay. If I now add it, you will see that we get all of the URLs right here. Okay? And it's going to be literally all of them. We have a ginormous list, 29, and most likely this is going to be the page with 29 and etc. Now let's move on. We said that the title was, actually, I got the URL there. So let me just change this to URL. And let me just get the title now. Okay. The title, we mentioned that it's simply the same stuff, but we just want to keep text right here because then we get the text content and we don't want to press anything right there. And if I'm going to run it right now and I'm going to collapse this, you see that we get the title. Of course, just because I didn't press that I want the array, I just got one result. However, I can fix it immediately and you get all of the 29 titles. And now what do I want? I want the score. How do I access the score? Right click, inspect. I want this, inspect. Fantastic. And so here we can clearly identify that this is inside a span.score. Okay. And we can grab it right here. So let's try and see if this works. Span.score, text, boom. Okay, perfect. We get the points, bam. And now this is an array and it works. So the first article should have 106 points, then 54, then 24, then 54, perfect. Then 176, then 24, perfect. All works. Fantastic. Now, what is my issue? My issue is, and I stop immediately and think, is do I now have a correlation title, URL, and score, or not yet? And can I access this bundle if I were to loop through it in order to continuously having the result, right? Because we want to scrape the URL, but we want to get the title, we want to get the points, we want to filter based on the points. So title, URL, and score somehow needs to be related. And right now I see two things. First of all, in the output, I don't have that. because I have three different things. So these are not linked like this horizontally. So I don't have that this is linked to this and this is linked to this, but they are all in one bunch. So I need to separate them. And the second thing is, and be cautious, I have one item in input, which is the text, and one item in output, which means that I don't have 29, 30, whatever individual items that I can access, but I have one gigantic one, which basically means that if you try to scrape this, it's gonna go bananas. So how do we fix that? We write a code node because this is a transformation that we need to do. And to be honest, we just ask AI because I have no idea. So how are we going to do it? So we ask AI, hey, I need your help to modify the output of the HTML node. I need to have as output something of this sort. And we know that we want to produce a JSON. Let me zoom in so you can see it better. And here probably we want article. I don't even recall what we had before. Article title. Then we want article URL. And then I want three separate elements, right? Article score. Of course, this this object is incomplete, but I would need to link the three of them and get as output the 29/30 objects that I am expecting to see. You see, it's a general prompt, not even a good one. Like I am literally going and dumping into AI what I would want, and let's see if this works. But it's basically expressing the things that I want. So let's see, 106 points, Steam and etc. Okay, and now I'm gonna ask it to fix it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, because now I have only one item and I want more than one. So let's go right here. And we're gonna say, actually, I could use the thing. Please help me fix the code I just created in the code node. It's giving me only one item as output and not all the 30, I think, I am expecting. And then what's going to happen now, it's most likely, and I'm going to be pretty sure that this works, is AI is just going to think and be like, okay, how can I support the dude? And then it's just going to enter the node and fix it for us, ideally. And why am I saying this and why am I doing it live in front of you? Because the reality is that you don't need to be a software developer or to know about code. You just need back and forth and to be able to articulate more or less what you want. And then ideally you would get, okay, this has been executed successfully. So we are great. We're going to check it. And then I can see that, fantastic. Everything is as expected, I think. So schema, bam. Fantastic. Now, moving on, because now we have all of our items. Now, what do we want? Now I see that I have an issue. And I will make you see it like this, which is manual mapping, and let me see it. Yeah. If you see right here, if I wanted to filter and understand what are the most viral pieces of content or articles and etc., I would need to and by the way, if you see the number, which is not 106, whatever. Yeah, it's because it's updating live. So I just wanted to confirm it in case someone says scam. And our problem right now is that we cannot have any filters because we cannot filter with a number because there is this word points, right? So if I were to loop now, I would go and face a problem because I would not be able to do that. So what I need to do now is manipulate my data or my thing so that I can have just a number right here. And how am I going to do it? I'm going to do it right here. So I'm going to call this a number, right? And this is going to be an expression. And we're just going to manipulate this data right here. So as you can see, and maybe let me zoom in. Okay. 138 points. So what do I need to do? I need to split the thing so that it's split with a space, and then get and this will give me something along the way of ta ta ta, comma, ta ta ta. And then I will need to take the first thing, because here I will have 138 and here I will have points, right? How are we going to do it? We're going to say split. And then I'm going to add that I want to split with a space. And then here there are a lot of methods, like we can even go dot first. I think it's going to work anyway. Great. So now we have it. Now, because I'm lazy and I don't want to drag nodes on various things, I'm also going to remap everything, because I think it's just a lot nicer to have everything in one thing. And then I'm going to run it. And now we see that we have a number, because the color is different, right? Why did we want this? Because I need now to filter and give a logic for the filters, because I want to filter this thing so that I only get the viral posts, right? So it's greater than, and then I think I will pause the video because I have needs. And then I go right here and I check, like, real quick. Let me just, where was it? I think we had them here. Let me see what is the average score that we have so we can filter. Okay, 132, 600. So if I filter above 400, I should not get a lot of stuff, right? So I'm going to filter greater than 400. Execute. And now you see why I love this and what we did right here. Because right here now I have that all of them three are together. And then I can move along the workflow with this. However, you see, like 4 items kept and 25 are discarded. Now, we are going now to have, we have now everything we need, right, in order to start looping, because we have this, and so we have the URL, then we have the title, and then we know if it was viral or not. So everything that now comes after this node is only going to be viral nodes. And that's why we see that we reduced from 29 to 4 items. Okay? Now, I don't want to go all screen wide, so let me go right here and let me pause 1 second. All right, we're back. So now we have filtered all of the viral ones. And what do we want to do next? Is we want to loop, right? Let's go on a loop. And yeah, but first, before going on a loop, actually, guys, let me limit. Let me go to 2 items. It's fine. Because otherwise the video is going to be eternal. Okay, perfect. So now how are we going to do it? We are going to run the loop node, and we see that we are going to have one thing coming in. And here is where you will love me, because of this edit node that we placed before. Now we have all of the information close to each other. I'm sorry. And so you can use them very easily. Meaning that what do we have to do now? Well, we have this information. So the first thing that you are going to be doing is you run an HTTP request, just like we did before. And we're going to scrape the article. And we see that we have the thing. Now, because I want the article to go inside an LLM node, right? Because right here, just to be clear, because I don't think some people realize how powerful this is. All of this, guys, it's for free. Like, we spent nothing because there is no AI involved, right? Now, here it will be the first time, because at one point here, we're going to have an AI node. So because we want to have an AI node, we want text. And the reason that we want text is that LLMs are better when we work with text. So that's the reason why we use this node, which is HTML to Markdown. And now this became a gigantic bunch of text that we can use and feed to an LLM. Now, so OpenAI node, and we are gonna press message a model, right? And right here in the prompt, okay, you're gonna have to connect it to OpenAI. Let me actually show you real quick how to do that. So you're gonna go in here, and then you are gonna press create new credentials. Then you need an API key. In order to find it, you're going to go on Google and you're going to type OpenAI Playground. Oh, actually, I have it. Then you're going to log in. And this is the place where you have APIs, right? So now I'm going to log in. You're going to go to dashboard, then API keys. Oh my days. Then create new keys. And then here you're going to call it whatever. Right? Then you're going to have this key that you're going to copy. Then you're going to go right here. You're going to paste it. And then you're going to save and everything will work as per expectation. Now, just because I am super lazy, I will not edit any video or do anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the model that I already have. And here we can use 4.1 mini. 4.1 mini. I mean, you can use GPT-5 if you want, but it's expensive for nothing, to be honest. And mini will do anyway. But okay, fine. Let's use just this. And you can say something along the way of, actually, let me write it real quick with AI. Okay, I ended up not using AI. But so summarize the info below so that I can get a quick news snippet. And then I basically just did scraped info and I just dragged it. So you can have it for free. It's super easy. I'm going to go here and press execute. And what's going to happen is that the model is going to slowly do what we want. However, because I put GPT-5 and because it's processing quite some information, then it's not, as fast as it would be with the 4.1. And that's also the reason why I really wanted to go with the other model. However, it's fine anyway. Fantastic. And now here we are going to use an edit node. Edit node. And what do I want to do right here? In order for your content, and this is a bit of a technical thing, but I just want you to copy this because I will just write it real quick. Again, you need to use AI, but I want you to get the concept, right? So in order for you to be able to render something when you use it in your email node, and I'll show you the end in mind that we have so that you know why we are doing this thing, right? We are going eventually to send our debrief via email, okay? And if you see right here, there is this field, which is text or HTML. However, HTML, if you send an email with this, you will be not allowed, but you will manage to do what the sites are doing right here. So by putting the HTML that I will create now, and you can copy and also later, what you're gonna be able to do is that you're gonna be able to tell the LLM how it should render the information so that you will get something pretty. And what I'm envisioning is a small newsletter with a, green banner and stuff like this, right? So in order to do that, we need to create a thing that will help us format the data in a way that we want. And I'm just gonna do it with AI real quick, and then I'm gonna come back to this. All right, so this is the thing that I wrote. So I just created a new class called div and a small paragraph. Nothing you need to worry about, nothing that it's gonna disrupt your world. Just, copy the thing. Let me also put it full screen so maybe you can take a snip, then paste it into GPT, and then you will get the same exact results. But however, I just wanted to know why we do this. It's simply because eventually we need to render these data. And so we're just starting to prepare them, right? Fantastic. And with this, basically what's happening now is that we closed a full loop. Let me cancel this note. Of data that we want to have. What does that mean? It means that, maybe if I clean it, good. It means that at this point, if I run the whole workflow, which is the thing that I want to do now while I chat, what we're going to be receiving is that because I limit to 2 items, ideally here at the end, I will have an output, which is the 2 articles. And eventually what we want to do is, because we're creating this brief newsletter, then you will decide if you want it like weekly, daily, and etc. We want to have all of the news, right, in one shot, because we want to have that all of the news goes inside the same email. We want to kind of have a section that will enable us to understand, okay, what is one news, what is the other one, and etc. But overall, the concept is that having all of these information now will allow you to create the newsletter with more than one news inside. And that is the only reason why we have this. Great. Now this run, and so in this very moment, I'm gonna select everything and press P. And what this will allow me to do is, I will be able to pin the data, which means that if I execute, I don't have to wait for everything to run again, but this data will be stationary over there. And I don't call any more APIs, or I don't do any more weird stuff. Now, opening the loop node, you are going to see that in here we have the two news that we wanted. Maybe the tabular format, it's more intuitive. And we just scraped news number 1 and news number 2. Okay. And now I think they are different because it updated, so usual stuff. What we want to do now is we want to aggregate. We are just going to drag here the input fields, which basically means aggregate every item that you see inside this thing, which we know has 2. And it's by the key, which is this one called news. And that's why from the JSON or from whatever, or from the schema, you can drag it, right? And then you're just going to press execute. And now you can see the difference, because here there was this line that would divide the two things into 2, but now we have the same thing. And you can also notice it in the JSON because now it's one big bunch of text, right? And then we reach the end where we are going to do the formatting now. And we just send the email. And then probably we can also connect it to a Slack channel, whatever. Send an email, so send a message. We're going to send it to my email, and we're going to say, I don't know, weekly digest. Okay. And then we're going to have a type in HTML. And now what I'm going to do is I have prepared a piece of code with AI that I would love to shoot in here. And let me copy paste it, so that I can format my newsletter in a certain way. By the way, everything is accessible for free in the first link down below if you're interested, so just don't kill yourself over there. It's simply, I just described what I wanted with a record button in ChatGPT, and then this is the output that it spit for me. And then I told ChatGPT that I wanted this thingy right here in order to be rendered. And that's the only thing. Now, we're going to press execute. And we said send. And what I'm going to do now, it's go quickly into my email. Perfect. As you can see, we got the email, weekly digest. So 7:55, I'm going to open it, and that's that. So we got the email, we got the thingy, and now we can just verify that there is something related to congressional leaders right here. And it's the only one above the 400 points that we put as a threshold, right? And then you can start playing around with it, because then right here you can, I don't know, add it to a Slack channel, and then you can connect it, and you can, I don't know, get a message whenever this is done, and then you can connect it, and so on and so forth, right? So now you are more than free to go and play around with it. And by the way, here it's another improvement that you could be doing is we filtered only for virality. But with the same concept right here, you could go in here, scrape the minutes and with the comments, and because and the points, because it's the same stuff. And you could also create like a daily digest, so everything that was published within the previous 24 hours, and so on and so forth. So with that said, now you know how to create a system that actually solves a business problem, which is keeping leads warm. And this is generally something that service businesses have quite a lot, because most of them tend to gather clients and then they end up becoming super cold and no one ever reactivates them. And having a weekly digest or something that you send them can be a great, or either lead magnet, either something that you can use actually to stay top of mind, and you can pitch it like this. And that's actually a great solution also for creators in case they are creating a newsletter. That this gives you really the foundational elements in order to be able to scrape the data and play around with it. Now, you know how also you could change the HTTP request with an RSS feed. You could do so many things. And then it's, that the formatting is just a matter of talking to a GPT and getting the HTML that actually helps you render the information that you want. If this was helpful, I want to show you how you can access to all of the material for free. The link is to my Skool community. And once you press it, you're going to land right here. And in the classroom section, you're going to go to tutorials. And then in here, you will find that the title or the first title now we will see will be the same title of the YouTube video. And you could go down here and press download blueprint. By the way, if you don't know how to do it, don't worry. I created a guide. So you can go in the welcome here, start here section, and then you will be able to see how you can download your blueprint and how you can import it into n8n. The only catch though is that not everyone gets in, so please take some time to answer the question in the beginning. And with that being said, I hope the video was valuable and I'll see you in the next one.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.